So hey guys, what's going on? It's the Beast365 here, back again with another video. And today guys, I'm going to be showing you guys what are the best settings slash tips and tricks for for beginners of Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. So first things first, as soon as you get into multiplayer, don't just start a random match of core or hardcore. As soon as you get in, go into this players here right here where it says versus bots. And as you guys can see, you can put whatever game mode you want. Actually, it's only 3 game modes, by the way. It's only TDM, free for all and domination, but you can change the map and you can put whatever map you want. And you can put the bots to put beyond recruit, regular, hardened, or veterans. So, but for beginners, personally, I probably use recruit bots just to start getting used to the game as well. And this is for beginners, guys. So anybody that just started playing Black Ops Cold War multiplayer, this is one of the first things you want to do as soon as you get into the game and play multiplayer. So that's basically the first thing you want to do is play against bots, just trying to get a little bit used to this game. And then once you actually play against bots and you know how to play against real players, then you can start going into core and hardcore playlists and play these game modes. And so, yeah, guys, that's just for the beginners. And so, best settings. I usually use, these are my best controller settings. I usually use 4 and 4 for horizontal stick sensitivity and vertical stick sensitivity. For ADS stick sensitivity, try putting it on a 0.9, and then for high zoom, try putting it on a 0.8. For button layout, I usually play tactical on this game just because I don't really like to jump shot a lot in this game and stuff like that. But usually, if you guys want to jump shot, you can use stick and move. Stick and move or tactical is like the best thing, best controller button layout for this game. And so also guys, if you also want to play on flipped, you can play on flipped, what I'm doing right now. I'm playing on L1 and R1 instead of L2 and R2, which is pretty useful for a game like this. You definitely don't want to use the default unless you do like using L2 and R2 to aim down sights and shoot with L2 and R2. Now, invert vertical look, I disabled this just because it's kind of annoying with the camera. You don't want to be looking up and you don't want to have this enabled. Just keep this on disabled. Now, for aim response curve type, I use this on linear. So what it says for linear, it says your aim stick maps directly to aim rate. The aim stick curve is the same as the aim rate. So yeah, guys, this is basically for pro players, a linear and dynamic. But if you're like an average or just a beginner, just try using standard. It's going to be the best one for you for beginners. And now controller vibration, I just leave that disabled. It's so annoying. Controller vibration on enable just because your controller shakes a lot and you don't want to have that in the game. So just keep that on disable. Now for gameplay, I use the target aim assist enable. So all these are basically just all default, and I haven't really changed any of these. Target aim assist mode standard, ADS aim assist enabled. Airborne mantle behavior, you do not want that automatic because that's just going to automatically mantle anything that you try to climb over. So I like to keep this on manual personally. Grounded mantle behavior, I do this on press. Aim down sight behavior, I put this on hold just because you want to be able to aim down the sights. You don't want to release the stop, if you know what I mean. You do not want to put this on toggle. So what this does, basically you aim down the sight and then you have to press again to stop it. So basically, if you want, just leave it on hold. I think it's the better one. Steady aim behavior, you just want to leave it on hold as well. This is to do with steadying your aim and stuff like that. So you just want to be able to release the stop. You don't want to have to keep on pressing it over and over again. Armor behavior, I just leave this as apply at 1. You don't have to do it. You can put it as apply on as all. And then attack vehicle control base mode. This I just leave it on aim base and not put it on an alternate. And then these are for the advanced settings. We have here left stick minute input threshold, which I have as 7, and the left stick max input threshold I have 99. Right stick max input threshold I have 99 as well. But you can change these settings however you guys want. Also, these settings are actually needed for multiplayer. So controller sounds, you do want to disable that if you want to not be, like hearing the sounds from your controller and stuff like that is actually kind of annoying. Auto move forward, I usually just keep that on disabled. Auto sprint, I keep that on disabled just because if you enable this, it will just automatically sprint as soon as you start pressing the L3 button. Or as soon as you start as soon as you start pressing the L3 button, it will just automatically sprint forward, which I don't really like that in my opinion. Sprint behavior, I just leave that on toggle. Sprint cancels reload. I usually just disable that. That's kind of annoying when you're trying to sprint and reload at the same time. A parachute auto deploy. Now this is something new that they've added in the game. You can actually disable this, as you guys can see. So if you guys don't want to use parachutes and stuff like that in multiplayer, I'm not sure why they would actually add parachutes in other multiplayer game modes. It's kind of weird, but it is what it is. Equipment behavior, just leave it as hold. I don't really like putting as toggle just because um I don't like to, yeah, as you guys can see here, toggle says press to take out your lethal tactical field upgrade equipment, press again to throw. So I just like to keep that on hold. And then the interact slash reload behavior, I just put that as tap to reload. Now the best graphics settings, safe area, you want to keep this, yeah, it's basically you want to go to your settings on your PS4 system and adjust it from the display area, from the sound and screen settings. Colorblind mode, this is only for people who are actually colorblind, so I'm not really colorblind, so you guys can just mess around with these settings if you guys want. Brightness, I usually use at 65 and 60, or you can go even higher if you really want, it's up to you, but I usually just stick at 65 for me personally. And then split screen orientation, yeah guys, you just want to have that on horizontal or vertical, it's up to you if you actually play split screen or not. Field of view for beginners, I usually, use this at 107. I don't really go that far off, like the 120, be kind of weird, but I just leave this at 107. Now this is really important, the ADS field of view, you want to leave this on affected. Aiming down sights will zoom to about close to your field of view setting. This does not apply to zooms with magnification of over 4x. So yeah guys, it's up to you if you want to use independent or affected, but personally, I use it on effective just because about for the aiming down the sights and stuff like that, as you guys can see in the picture there. And this is also really important, guys. Make sure you turn off motion blur. It is really annoying in this game, especially if you have it enabled. Just disable it. It's basically really good for you guys just to have that as disabled. Now for best audio, I'm gonna go through this really fast. So master volume you want to have at 100 for sure. Music volume you want to leave at 0 for sure. You don't want to have the music volume all the way up, as you guys can see, if you have really good gaming headsets and you want to be able to, so if you want to be able to listen to the footsteps and stuff like that and the gunshots, you want to have the sound effects volume all the way to 100. Dialogue volume, just keep that at 10. You don't really need the dialogue volume all the way up, honestly, unless if you want to hear callouts from the players in the game, not the players, the operators in the game. So yeah, and cinematics volume, I just leave that 100. Now this is really important. Audio presets, guys, I usually just use Super Bass Boost. This is for like mostly average to pro players, but if you guys want to use Triarch Mix, headphones, Bass Boost, these are basically best audio settings for beginners. So Triarch Mix is really good for beginners to this game. Headphones, but both basically for the pro players, they usually use Super Bass Boost or Bass Boost, High Boost, just for like listening to the footsteps and hearing to the gunshots as well. Super Bass Boost, it's kind of like Super Crunch from BO4, if you guys remember. Super Crunch is a setting where it lets you hear the sounds from really far, I mean the gunshots from really far away, and the footsteps also from very far and from very close. So this is a really good setting if you want to hear footsteps and gunshots. And so hit marker sound effect, I usually just leave that disabled. If you want, you can enable hit markers in the game, it's up to you. A voice chat I have enabled, and usually I just put that as disabled, but if you want to have voice chat enabled and talk to other people, leave that as enabled. A voice and text chat channel, leave that to game chat or party chat, if you're ever playing a party chat or game chat on this game. Voice chat volume, if you guys can't really hear what people are saying or whatever people are trying to give calls to you, make sure you raise this up so you guys can hear other people in the game. So don't just like leave it at like 1 something or 0 something. You won't hear anybody. Just try to at least put up the 2.00 so you can at least hear some people in the game. Open microphone sensitivity, I just leave that at 70. That's just for your microphone in the game and stuff. Your microphone volume, I leave that as 2. You can even go up even higher if you guys want. I think it goes up to 4, yeah. So I just leave it as a 2 for me for my microphone. I don't want my microphone to be so insanely loud in the game. So yeah, guys. And for these things, interface and stuff like that, I just have this all as default. So you guys can just leave this all as default as well. Subtitles, I just usually leave them disabled. As I said from before, I keep the dialogue volume at 0 just because I don't really like to hear the dialogue volume in the game when you're playing in game. So, and yeah, guys, this is just all for default. And if you're using keyboard and mouse, which I'm not, I can't really explain to you guys the settings for keyboard and mouse because I don't have a keyboard and mouse. And so yeah, guys, this is basically all the best things you want to have for Black Ops Cold War if you're a beginner to multiplayer and stuff like that. These are like the best things you can have in the game. This is just for personal preference, guys. If you guys you want to change some of these settings, you can change these settings. But yeah, guys, that's it for the video. I hope you guys will enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, guys, peace.